You notice the rainbow effect on the glass? Pocket door.
Okay.
And it has an abstraction of the dining room table. So this is the smaller size with full extension. And the semi-oval design is inspired by the Suba, which was the sword guard at the hilt of a samurai sword. And the two brothers collected Subas. Again, the deep interest in all things from Asia.
Interesting.
We're in a room that's all clad in Santo Domingo mahogany. It has the beautiful table in the shape of a Suba. You'll notice the black ebony splines. The pedestal base is stationary, so when all 5 leaves are in and the table extends all the way here, it doesn't rock at all. It's so beautifully balanced. And these interlocking wooden members are how the extension pieces come out.
Wow.
Again, Henry Green was such a good engineer. It was so well done.
Wow.
And the fern bowl is Tiffany glass, Fabril glass. So the fern bowl came from Cincinnati, and they used it again in the dining room. So architects are bringing all of these artifacts.
Elements.
It was beautiful, yeah, for the family. And so what they did was over here in American encaustic tile, they continue with the green theme in floral motifs, and then it also continues down here in the andirons.
Wow.
I want to show you this. This is an interesting American development. So, you notice the rainbow effect on the glass? So this was developed by Louis Comfort Tiffany. It's an iridescent finish. It's tin and iron chloride that gets sprayed on the glass and it gets refired. And it gave it that beautiful rainbow finish. And Tiffany developed it because he didn't like the idea of glass looking dead with no light source at night. So if you have a chance to come back to the Gamble House at night, all of the light surfaces are just magical with that iridescent finish. And rooms fall off into absolute darkness in corners. So it's very theatrical. It's very somber and beautiful at night. All right, welcome to the bedroom that was used by family members who were guests. So it's elegant, it's different from some of the other furniture that we've seen in the house. The beds are German silver, which is nickel-plated silver. They have a rose design incised here, carved in. And that theme of the rose continues in the lanterns, as well as more of the silver theme. And let me open the curtain for you.
I like those shapes.
So remember, I keep talking about blending nature with structure. So out the window here is a climbing rose, a Cecil Brunner. And you picked a perfect time to be here because it's in bloom right now. But again, the elements of nature inspire what the architects do in the space, which is really beautiful, that harmony. So the carpet's really interesting. This is a reproduction by Schumacher of New York of the original. This is so progressive, if you think about it, for 1908. So the dancing square pattern is so similar to what Charles McIntosh is doing in Scotland and in Vienna. And so again, Charles Green gravitated toward that. He kept a sketchbook and a clipping book of European architecture magazines. And so it makes sense that this very progressive carpet was chosen for this room.
So the architects were really gathering all the different pieces across the world to make this like a most progressive house in the whole universe.
From design to electricity, the synthesis of what happened here, which is why people are so moved, I think, when they come to visit it. Plus, this style, was by about 1916, America was done with this, and people in California wanted Spanish revival and whitewashed houses and columns. But what's interesting is the revival of this style has now lasted longer than the original style. So it speaks to us as a generation. Whatever the message of this house is about handmade products, about living in peace with nature, about harmony, harmonic colors, speaks to us generationally, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
The woods in here are curly maple. So in inlay, we have ebony, fruit wood, vermilion wood, and silver wire, all carrying on with the rose design that we saw outside. Mrs. Gamble brought this beautiful silk embroidery back from Kyoto, and the waterfall is exquisite, and she asked the architects to construct a frame for it, and it's one of my favorite pieces in the house. The waterfall members on the side are extraordinary.
It's like wavy,
Yes.
almost like the actual waterfall.
Isn't that wonderful? We have the interior window, which borrows light in the morning because the bedroom doesn't have any east-facing windows. So the architects are worried about what the light's going to be like in the morning. So this would borrow light, and he thought of, I know, extraordinary.
Everything.
And also Mrs. Gamble could look down to the front door, which was nice to see who was visiting. But above this is in the shape of very familiar to anybody coming from Asia, especially Japan. And it has the rose and crane, the family crest, and then all hanging above the beautiful waterfall embroidery.
Wow.
So here is the boys' room, Sydney and Clarence. Here's a photo of the family.
Is that like a...
So those it was built for samurai, but these are from the Civil War. We put these here, but the boys had samurais. Because again, they had been in the East, in Japan
But
specifically.
the handle is Western.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why I'm confused. But the shape is a Japanese word,
Is that
right?
interesting?
It's so interesting. And then how they're hanged is also Japanese style.
Yes, and then here is an abstraction of mist,
Oh, yeah.
like mist over a field. And we know that because it was in Charles Green's sketchbook. And then this is Carrara marble. Guest room that was used by family members if you came to stay. And all of the furniture is typically in here. It's not original, but we purchased it. This was the furniture that would have been here with the family. And there's a closet here that includes a sink, but when it's closed, again, it's just this wonderful Japanese expanse wardrobe with a built-in here. And again, the use of the scarf joint, which is part of the architectural syntax for the room. It signals the end of the plaster and the beginning of the built-in, which is why they chose to put it right here.
Wow.
So again, just the level of sophistication is pretty extraordinary. They thought about everything.
Whoa,
Wow.
cool.
Unbelievable.
That's a space saver right there.
Isn't
it?
You have thought about every single scenario.
Yes, yes. This is the master bedroom.
Ooh.
And again, it's a big open space.
Right.
So there's a sleeping area, there's an angle look here. Mrs. Gamble likes to sleep on this bench. And over here is that interior window, which I talked about, that brought the morning light in. Mrs. Gamble liked to collect rookwood pottery, which was really popular. It was from the Midwest. The artisans, many were women, and they signed their pieces, and she was very proud of it. So she had quite a collection of it here at the house. Here is a Tiffany mirror with beautiful peacock feather design. So blue and green is a really prominent finish color choice in the room. Again, the mist abstraction. And here are the blue and green use.
Wow.
So the blue and the green all corresponds to what was reported to be Mrs. Gamble's favorite vase. This is a rookwood vase with an iris. And the iris, again, was really important for Midwesterners. You know, it ushered in the spring, the new season.
I see.
And you see a lot of irises depicted in Japanese artwork, too. So very familiar.
Yes.
So they also do the inlay of the furniture in turquoise, jade, and semi-precious stones is an iris inlay. Included is the Suba shape in ebony, which matches the dining room table.
Wow.
So all the furniture in the room has that.
Nothing is like missed or like everything is like so well coordinated.
Exactly. Yes. So like a tansu, all of the drawers are different sizes, which is such a practical thing. The design here of the irises also is replicated on the other side. So when you wake up in the morning, you see that.
Unbelievable, like 24/7. Like perfect, you know.
Right. Was Aunt Julia's room. Aunt Julia was Mrs. Gamble's sister. She went to University of Chicago. Again, education was really important to the family. Mrs. Gamble's father was the first chancellor of the first all-female college in the country.
Oh, really?
And Aunt Julia was a real character. She would end up living here longer than anybody in the family. And she liked auto mechanics. So when she took her car to the garage, she would quiz the mechanic about. And then her furniture is willow and ash. Again, the wall color is indicative of the peaceful connection to nature. And we're going to go out to the sleeping porch.
Okay. I can sleep out here.
Oh, yeah. And then the boys did sleep outside. And Mrs. Gamble, in her later years, slept out on her sleeping porch. It was considered healthy. So the property was originally, they had 10 acres, a couple acres up here, and then 10 acres down into the Arroyo. The property eventually was sold off. There's the Rose Bowl through the opening of the trees.
Oh, wow.
Which was built in the 20s. Very Japanese if you think about it. There are 262 rafter tails in the house, and they all had dry rot. So that was one of our big restoration projects about 20 years ago to restore those. So someone designated this as the most beautiful attic in Pasadena, and I think they were right.
I think so.
Wow.
And it's all corridor for cedar, Douglas fir wood. It has windows on all sides for ventilation.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was like,
can
wow.
you imagine all these windows open?
Wow.
It's like, and it comes in, it's like I can feel it on my
Yes,
butt.
yeah. It's just that little one.
Right?
And the ones on top open as well.
Jeez.
So this is all Burma teak, and I think it's interesting because the door here has Burma teak on this side, but as we enter Mr. Gamble's den, it's going to be done in quarter sawn oak, a different wood to match the wood that's in the room we're about to enter. And you'll notice that as the stairs descend above us, the space changes completely as we enter the space.
Wow.
Whoa.
So this room has a lot of interesting features. The ceiling is pushed up about 12 inches, so it's the highest ceiling in the house. And that's because the vault at the top of the fireplace is supporting the hearth, the fireplace in the boys' room right above us. So it's practical, but this would have overwhelmed the room if the ceiling was lower. And then here are two photographs of Charles and Henry, born in 1868 and 1870. Charles would be the artist, Henry was more the engineer. They took all the same classes through MIT when they graduated as architects. Their father decided they would become architects as boys. They had no choice in the matter, which fascinates people now because it's such a foreign concept. And literally, it's years in the making.
Wow.
And I don't know if you want to shoot any of it.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
So, under this hill here, Knoll, is a gas tank. So they were able to pump their own gas in the garage when they had gas-powered vehicles. And then Mrs. Gamble was so progressive in the 20s, she had 2 electric cars. So she was ahead of her time in so many ways. And we currently use the garage as a bookstore, but it can be turned back into a garage at any time.